Jaron Ennis has officially joined Canelo Alvarez's camp to assist him as he gets ready for his highly anticipated showdown against Terence Crawford. On the flip side, Brian Norman Sr. mentioned that sparring with Jaron Ennis is not the most accurate way for Canelo Alvarez to prepare for Terence Crawford because their fighting styles are not much alike. He said, "The only common trait is that both fighters switch stances naturally, but other than that, they approach fights in completely different manners." Norman added that he never fully understood why people compare the two, but still sees the benefit in working with Ennis because high-quality sparring always sharpens a fighter's tools.
Give him a better chance. I mean, I think it's good work. Crawford, I don't think Crawford fight. Not Crawford. I don't think Boots fight like Crawford at all. That was just I think the comparisons they was making initially was just as they both were switch hitters and they both could be so naturally. That's really the only thing that they do the same. They don't do anything else the same, literally. So I never understood the comparison in that myself. But I think it's still a good look because all work is good work and you want the best work.
Furthermore, Andre Darrell said that having Jaron Ennis in Canelo Alvarez's camp serves a bit of revenge toward Terence Crawford for avoiding a fight with Boots back in 2024 when Boots called him out. Darrell explained that Crawford pursued a bigger opportunity instead of going after Canelo Alvarez on September 13, 2025, which offered a higher profile name, more money, a stronger legacy boost, and greater recognition. He said it is too late now for Boots to land that matchup, but he is glad to see him involved because this experience will help Boots develop more toughness, improve his skill set, and raise his fight IQ.
Camp with Canelo. I do believe this is get back on Crawford for not taking the fight with Boots back in 2024 when Boots called him out. But Crawford was on the bigger and better things, baby. That bigger and better things being Canelo Alvarez, September 13th, 2025. Bigger legacy, bigger name, bigger payday, bigger status. So, too little, too late, Boots. But I am looking forward to how you advance in your career after this because this camp is definitely going to level you up, man. You're going to get better because of it in every aspect. Toughness, skill set, smarts.
Darrell continued by saying that his next opportunity will push Boots forward in every way and get him ready for what comes next. He predicted that Crawford will likely retire after this fight, especially if he wins, leaving Boots to target other big names in the future. He encouraged Boots to give Canelo serious rounds in camp because Canelo will need every bit of it, echoing Roy Jones' thoughts that Canelo must be at his absolute peak. Darrell ended by saying that he's curious to see where Boots heads after this chapter.
You're going to get a lot from this camp, champ, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do because of it. You're already a bad man, dog. I want to see where you take it from here, but Crawford, it's over. I believe he's walking away in the sunset, especially if he walk away with the victory, which I'm hoping for. But you, champ, you're going to have to settle for something else. Get Canelo that work, man. He going to need it. He going to need it. According to Roy Jones, Canelo got to be on his A game. You got to be on yours too, man. We're looking forward to seeing what you do after this. It's raining on me right now, so I'm going to cut this short, baby. But Boots, get somebody else, champ. Get somebody else. I'm out.
Greg Hackett shared that Boots will benefit greatly from being part of a camp with a world-class fighter like Canelo Alvarez, who has faced a wide range of styles in his career. He explained that Canelo has already fought tall boxers, short opponents, tricky movers, and aggressive punchers, so sparring with him gives Boots valuable lessons and exposure. Hackett added that working with someone as prepared and experienced as Canelo is an opportunity few fighters get.
What does Jaron Ennis get from this? What does Canelo Alvarez get from this?
I mean, Jaron Ennis get from it being in with the elite, a guy who's prepared for everything. One thing you can't say about Canelo is that he hasn't seen something. Canelo's seen southpaws, he's seen tall guys, short guys, slick fighters, he's seen bulls, he's been up against everything. So you get a word of experience with a guy like Canelo. You get a guy who's in full confidence with a guy like Canelo. So
Ikoue said he was pleased to see Jaron Boots Ennis step in as a sparring partner for Canelo Alvarez because Boots often lacks high-level sparring himself, being the one who usually dominates the others in his area. He added that his arrangement also benefits Canelo as he gears up for what he sees as a true 50-50 contest against Terence Crawford. Ikoue mentioned that their natural weights are not drastically different despite their divisions and pointed out that Crawford has a broader offensive skill set, while Canelo's chance relies on pressuring him early, cutting off the ring, and making the night difficult.
I'm glad that he did it because, one, that gives him, I guess, top level sparring, because Boots is always looking for sparring too because he's tearing guys up here. So I've never seen him travel anywhere to spar. I don't know if he has. Maybe he does. I don't know. But for him to do that, that's a big step for him. But beyond that, it's a better step for Canelo because, honestly, somebody asked me the other day, I think my fiance might have asked me, like, who you think gonna win the fight? She don't really know boxing. So I was like, yo, this is actually one of the few fights that's 50-50 to me because they both highly skilled, and then their walk-around weights, you really don't know how far off of each other they really are in regards to true size, because although Crawford fights at a lower weight, they may walk around at a similar weight. You never know. Frame-wise, they're not that far off. So, and then also Crawford has a lot more tools in the bag in regards to offense. Like, he got a lot of offensive skills. So I said, okay, well, if Crawford fights his fight, he can make it difficult for Canelo. And if Canelo can hurt Crawford early and corner him and cut the ring off real well, he can make it a difficult night for Crawford.
Furthermore, Amir Khan said he knows Terence Crawford closely and described him as mentally tough and completely locked in, calling him a machine once he focuses on something. Khan said Crawford has a switch that, when flipped, makes him fearless and relentless, unlike fighters who take a gentler approach. He recalled seeing Crawford spar bigger men and even wrestle them, taking them down despite size disadvantages, and Khan added that while many talk about Canelo Alvarez's strength and punching power, they underestimate Crawford's physical force and overall resilience, saying many will be shocked by how strong he truly is.
Listen, I know Crawford well enough where fucking the guy is so mentally strong, and when he sticks to one thing and he's focused, he's a killing machine. Honestly, like, I've been there with him, you know what I mean? And I've seen him when he's triggers. You don't want to switch that. You don't want to have that switch because the guy is an animal and he has no fear. With us, we were nice guys, you know what I mean? We were a little bit more nicer than him when I was a fighter myself. He's total opposite to me. He's a proper killer, bro. Like, he don't give a damn. He's one of them, like, just let's go to war.
You saw him spar bigger guys as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, he had sparring heavier guys, but I've seen him wrestling more heavier guys, really. And boxing, yeah, got wrestling heavier guys and taking them down. Like, bro, making them scream. Honestly, we were doing that. Now, that's why when people said to me, Canelo's stronger, but I don't know if Canelo, yeah, stronger at punching maybe, but at that body weight, that strength, that core strength, Crawford's a beast. People are gonna see. People are not gonna expect that from Crawford.
Virgil Ortiz offered his take on the highly anticipated clash, expressing skepticism that Terence Crawford will be able to overcome Canelo Alvarez due to the stark contrast in their natural size and weight. While he praised Crawford's ring IQ and polished abilities, Ortiz stressed that Canelo's strength, physicality, and well-timed counterpunching give him a notable edge. He pointed to the precise check hook Canelo landed on Edgar Berlanga as proof that the Mexican star is still a dangerous and sharp operator. Ortiz acknowledged that Crawford does have a route to victory, but admitted that if Crawford pulls it off, he would regard him as one of the greatest fighters in history.
I don't think he is, but if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. And look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just gonna treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing, you know. The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10,
right, yeah.
You know.
Bud, would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
yes.
right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of, can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can do it, but can Canelo do it? And I think he has a bigger chance of doing it than Crawford does.
Favors him.
Now, Canelo, he has obviously the size advantage, the strength advantage, intellect. I think Crawford edges him out in IQ. I just think the weight difference is going to be the deciding factor here. I mean, like, when I seen Canelo's check hook against Berlanga, that shit was like this. You know, and Canelo's not slow either. Like, this shit was, I didn't see that coming at all. He just dropped him, and I was just like, damn, he still got it. I just think that Crawford just bit off a little more than he can chew, but if he can chew it and he beats him, which I think he can. I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he has 0% chance. I'm just thinking Canelo wins. But if he does, he will be my #1 fighter of all time.
Wow, I always knew that you had a lot of respect and admiration for him.
Teddy Atlas, however, expressed that he leans toward Terence Crawford winning because Canelo Alvarez's recent showings suggest a potential decline. He questioned if Canelo is aged in the sport, lost motivation after earning significant wealth, or simply no longer carries the same drive. Atlas also said that Canelo may have been overhyped, pointing out debates that he lost the first Gennady Golovkin fight and was clearly defeated by Floyd Mayweather. He noted that while some fans excused the Mayweather loss by saying Canelo was too young, he had already been a seasoned professional at that point.
Oh yeah, I could see Crawford winning. And why? Well, Canelo's last performance, real quick, what could it be? I already went over this. You want to hear it in a deeper breakdown? Canelo, he's either old man time, that undefeated guy, he finally caught up to him. He's made so much money that the urgency's not there, the fire's not there. At least it wasn't there a week ago. Oh my God, I'm gonna say this one, that maybe he's a little overrated. I listen, you know, you can make the argument that he lost the first Triple G, you know, but you can make the argument he lost to Lara. He did lose to Mayweather. You can make the argument he was too young in his career. Maybe, although it wasn't that young. He turned pro when he was 15 or 16. He was 23. He was already pro for how many years?
Richard Torres admitted he has always supported Canelo Alvarez, but is leaning toward Terence Crawford due to his personal connection and respect for his ability. He highlighted Crawford's sharp defense, his adaptability, and his ability to fight effectively from either stance. Torres said that although Canelo carries knockout power, especially at his natural higher weight, Crawford has the skills and pound-for-pound talent to stretch the fight and succeed over time, making this a thrilling event to witness.
So I'm a Canelo fan through and through. You know, he's one of my favorite fighters. But I know Terence Crawford personally, and I'm a little biased for Crawford, so I am leaning towards Crawford. Crawford has some of the best defense I've ever seen, and I think he styles his defense to the fighter too. You know, like what he did with Spence and some of these other guys. It's impressive. Switch hitting? You know, the switch hitting, being able to do so many different. He has so many different assets and abilities that I'm leaning towards Crawford, but I'm leaning towards Crawford in the long game. I don't necessarily. I think Canelo will always have that one shot killer shot, you know, and so he has to watch out for it, especially at a bigger weight. Where Canelo, he's filled in that weight. You know, he was able to really like move up and take on and personify that weight. I think that Crawford has to be able to do that himself. But if anyone can do it, Crawford can do it. You know, Crawford's one of the pound for pound guys, and I'm just excited to see that fight, if I'm being honest with you.
In addition, Errol Spence Jr. voiced his support for Crawford's decision to take on the challenge, stating that if Crawford's aim is to solidify his legacy, this is the fight to do it. He said there is no reason Crawford should shy away from such an opportunity and confirmed that he will be rooting for him, even though he isn't entirely certain on who will come out on top. Spence reminded fans that Canelo once moved up to 175 pounds to take on naturally bigger men, so there is no reason Crawford can't take a similar leap to test himself at this level.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, you know, so, you know what I'm saying, I'm with it. So, you know, I'll be going for Bud, you know, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off.
Yeah. But no,
He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
Antonio Tarver shared that both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have the qualities of greatness to win this matchup, making it difficult to pick a clear favorite. He praised Canelo's power, durability, and ability to take a punch, explaining that he only has truly been shaken once in his career. Tarver said Canelo has learned how to either absorb or avoid heavy shots, showing intelligence and patience in the ring. On the other side, he credited Crawford as one of the most skilled fighters in the sport, who reached the top through discipline, dedication, and leadership that inspires the next generation.
We've talked about it before, you and I'm sure like any other human being, especially one who knows boxing well, the thoughts have changed and morphed and come back around. But we're here now. Where are you at? Who's winning this fight?
You don't know who's going to win the fight. Let's say that. Both of these guys' greatness can win this fight. You feel me? Both of these guys' greatness can win this fight. You would be crazy to think Canelo can't win this fight with his power, strength. And this man ain't never been hurt, really never been in trouble before. But that one time,
shout out to Cotto, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, the one time, the Cotto,
the younger brother, the other brother. Yeah,
that's the only time we seen Canelo shook up. So he learned how to either take a punch or not get hit with that punch. Smart, you feel me? Tank, man, one of the most.
You mean Bud?
Bud. I'm sorry, Bud. One of the most gifted fighters out there, bro. And he got it the hard way. You feel me? The hard way, through work, commitment, and dedication, and being a leader. He's really led a lot of these young champions. You feel me? So Crawford has stood out from the beginning, bro.
Tarver explained that the deciding factor will be whether Crawford can hurt Canelo, because you cannot halt someone you cannot damage. He said Crawford's best strategy is to stay smart, move in and out, remain mobile, and avoid staying still long enough for Canelo to unleash his powerful combinations. According to Tarver, Canelo only needs one perfect punch to shift the fight, while Crawford will need consistency, an early lead, and control through all 12 rounds.
You know, the way he approached the game. And I love the way he processed the game when he get in there. Now, can he hurt Canelo? That's going to be the key. That's going to be the key, because you can't knock nothing out you can't hurt. You can't knock nobody out, you can't hurt him. Now, if Crawford is in here to do 12 grueling rounds with a strong fighter like Canelo, I think his best game plan is to box, be elusive, in and out. You feel me? But never stand still long enough for Canelo to dig 3 or 4 on you. You know, with your back against the rope. So it's a way to win. His fight style gonna have to be locked. And Canelo only need one punch. You know what I mean? That really, basically, that's what it boils down to. I think Canelo only need one shot to change the game or change the fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead.
Meanwhile, Max Kellerman spoke on the sheer scale of this showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, calling it one of the most significant fights he has ever witnessed. Having covered landmark events like Pacquiao vs. Mayweather and Joshua vs. Klitschko, Kellerman suggested that this bout might even eclipse those in terms of magnitude. He said the timing, stakes, and impact surrounding this fight place it among the sport's defining moments.
But where would you rank this fight out of your top 3 to 5 of all the boxing fights you've called, you've experienced, you've watched?
In terms of the magnitude of the fight?
magnitude, yeah.
I mean, of the fights that I've called ringside, it might turn out to be number 1. I've done Pacquiao fights, I've done Mayweather fights, I've done Anthony Joshua against Klitschko, those are big fights, but
Kellerman added that the build-up and eventual outcome will leave a lasting imprint in boxing history, and in his view, this isn't just another high-profile matchup, it's a pivotal moment that will shape how greatness is discussed in the sport for years to come.
This will, listen, because of Netflix, this will be the most watched fight, championship fight, in almost 50 years. This is going to be, because Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in the rematch in '78, and they did 90 million TV sets. 90 million. And since then, what has even come close? The biggest fights have all been on pay-per-view. and they do 2 million buys, oh my God, 4 million buys, Mayweather Pacquiao. As I keep saying, if 5 people per TV set watch, per buy, watch, that's 20 million people. This is gonna do multiples of that. So, so when you look at it from like a commercial point of view, it'll easily be the biggest boxing event I've ever covered.
Timothy Bradley Jr. said he expects Canelo Alvarez to attempt to hold the center of the ring and possibly use lighter footwork early as both boxers measure each other's power. He explained that the opening rounds will be about timing, balance, and finding the right spots to land while avoiding sharp counters, pointing out that Canelo typically finds his flow a bit faster than Terence Crawford.
I think Canelo will try to control the center of the ring. I think he might even box a little bit on his toes. Due to the fact because he wants to feel the punching power, and vice versa. Crawford wants to feel his punching power as well. You know, in the beginning, it's all the position balance. Like both guys are trying to get balance and trying to find their rhythm. You know, understanding their distance to where they can punch and at the same time avoid getting hit. You know, it takes Crawford a little bit more time than I would say Canelo.
Ronnie Shields said the fight is an exciting one and he believes Terence Crawford truly has a real chance of coming out on top. He explained that Crawford will bring a different look than fighters like Callum Smith or Erslandy Lara, using stance switches, smart movement, and counters to create chances. Shields said that if Crawford can make Canelo Alvarez miss and immediately exploit those openings, he can disrupt Canelo's tempo and force him into difficult positions, which he believes is the best way to test Canelo's control.
Well, I think it's going to be a great fight. You know, I've been asked this question a lot the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And I really and truly believe that Crawford has a great chance. You know, Crawford is not going to fight him like School fought him. He's not going to fight him like Lara fought him. Crawford is going to be doing a little bit of ins and out, I believe, turning left-handed and right-handed. And, you know, for me, I think he's going to give Canelo a problem because Canelo probably going to think he's going to be moving a lot. And I don't think so. I think Crawford is going to practice, you know, rely on his counterpunching abilities and then start taking the lead and putting Canelo in positions he's never been in, you know, in a long time. So, and I think that's the right way to fight Canelo. You know, you can't worry about his power. You just got to worry about making him miss and then countering and being effective. And Crawford has all the ability to do that.
Hamza Shiraz predicted that the first half of the fight will be closely matched, but in the later rounds, he sees Canelo gradually taking command and pulling away.
How do you expect his fight with Terence to go in September? I expect the fight to be very competitive for the first 6 rounds, and then Canelo to take over and dominate.
That's it for today's video, so what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about Canelo versus Crawford upcoming clash? Would love to hear your thoughts on this, so share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also, check out our other videos on the screen right now.